Sorry that we're late. We're going to start with an outside chazara. An outside chazara. I know what the Ilam is holding. There was granted the chazara here Thursday night was Mayerdik. I was late, but the Ilam that chazard were Mayerdik. I have not sent out a review. I apologize. But either way, let's get started with a chazara of Hanu Avankri. Hanu Avankri, let's speak about it. Avi, just go for it. Go for it. It's talking to you. It's Pasha talking to you. Pasha talking to you. Anu Avankri, the Heliga peddlers. How we doing? Anu Avankri, the Heliga peddlers that were taught by whom? I forgot who taught them. Rav Huna. That when you're buying lulavim from the Goyim, be careful. You don't cut them down. Why? Because if you cut it down, what might happen? Karka land can't be stolen. If you go cut it down, you're being over in Gezela. Because what does it mean land's not stolen? We're going to get into that in a few moments when we talk about a sukkah gazula. But it means the item can't be stolen. So when you go and you cut down the lulav, you're effecting. Please dive into some sushi. There's a lot over here. No, please. Someone has to eat it. You are effecting the Kinyan. So don't cut it down. Says the Gemara. So you shouldn't cut it down because we have a Gzela problem. And we have a Kinyan problem. What's the Kinyan problem? Now we know that the only way to make a Kinyan is you need to have two things. Yosh and Shini Rishus. The owner has to despair and you have to change possession. But if you go and you cut it down, then we have a problem that you're being over in Gzela. Says Gemara, I don't understand what the problem is. Cut it down. And then what? You'll sell it to someone else. So now when I cut it down, very good, I'm over Gzela. Let's not worry about that right now, says the Gemara. You cut it down, and therefore you have Yush, and then you have Shini Rishos, you give something out, everyone's good. Says the Gemara, an interesting teretz. It's true, it would work. But what about the lulavim that the Avankri use for themselves? They themselves need a shake lulav. So the lulav that they shake is not going to be theirs. Ironically, imagine this guy sells millions of dollars of lulavim, and he himself is not yaitz the mitzvah. Why? Because his own lulav he cut down, and there was no shini rishos. End of part A of the Gemara of Lamed Amud Beis. The Gemara continues, and the Gemara says, 1 second. What about shinoi Hashem? There's a change in name over here. We're talking about the Hadassim particularly. You cut down the Hadassim. What are they called? They're called Hadassim. Excuse me. I skipped a step. Did I skip a step? What does the Gemara say about? No, I didn't skip a step. I was good. No, I did. Says the Gemara, what about Shinoi Maisa? What's Shinoi Maisa? Another way to affect an acquisition is by changing the item. Let's just give you the quintessential case is what? You steal a piece of clay. You go and you mold that clay into a cup, into a bowl. So then that changes it into a new entity. And therefore there's a Kinyan. Givaldik. Says the Gemara, so over here you steal a dasim. What do you do with them? You bind it into your lulav. So you have a Kinyan. Answers the Gemara, no, we're going with the opinion that old lulav ain't sarach agad. It's a machlokes, as we're going to see, whether you have to bind the lulav. Says the Gemara, and even if you're going to tell me according to the opinion of lulav sarach agad, so why isn't it good over here? Because a shine achayzer libriusai. What does that mean? That means very good. Today you're tying your adasim together. Your lulav Yaakov, dive in. Everyone's bashful about the sushi. Very good. You're diving it. No, very good that you're tying your adasim together with your lulav today. But it's a chayzer libriusai. So you just untie it. What happens when you untie it? It goes back to being a hadas. So there's no Kinyan. Says Gemara, okay, final step. Why not Shinoi Hashem? The item originally was called a Hadas, and now it's called a Shana. Says the Gemara, we're going to opinion that Hadasim are called Hashanas all the way. End of Gemara on the top of Lamed Aleph, Lamed Aleph. There you have it, a nice, quick Shakla Vitaria. It took me 4 minutes. It should have taken 2 if I was actually on my game, but I did not prepare properly. And here we go weiter. Tanu Rabbanan. I'll just add on one word of when I heard when Rabbi Newman, one of the things he was telling the boys, and like you have to keep on hearing it. We're gonna go very slow. It's not a speed. It's not a speed. Because like I was thinking over Shabbos, what did we do last week? We did a chleis 10 lines. Okay, it's also true we missed a night, but the truth is, if you chazer those 10 lines, and then you chazer it again, and you have it on your fingertips, I was driving over 10, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to tell myself I have to do Shakvataria, but I don't really know it, so let's go over it. So I went over it, and that's how we basically got it almost. So, again, it's not quantity, it's quality. Let's really try to ramp up the Chazara. Tanu Rabbanan. Let's go. We're on the second line of Lamed Aleph, and I'm talking to myself as much as everyone else, because you're like, of course, Rabbi, we have no problem going slow. You're the one that always speeds away. Okay, I'm talking to myself. Tanu Rabbanan, here we go. Sukkah Gizula, a sukkah that is stolen, which right away, those words should irk you. Because we just finished saying, Karka Einoy Nigzeles. You can't steal land. Then I tell you, the stolen sukkah. What? Isn't that land? What does it mean he stole the sukkah? Says the Gemara. Tanurabanan sukkah gezula. Vehamisachich. And one who puts up schach birshus harabim. Two different cases, which parenthetically we're not going to talk about right now. Maybe we should come back to this point. It's a massive discussion lahalacha. In Muncie, not as much, because people have properties. More in Flatbush, Borough Park. Where do people put their sukkahs? Yeah, middle of the street. Yeah, just plop it down. 1 second. Sukkah Gezula. You don't own that karka. Or, okay, we're about to see the Chum say it's kosher, but I'm just bringing out that this could be a very, very real case. Rabbi Eliezer, Poisil, v'chachamim machshim. Okay, machlekes. What's the machlekes, says the Gemara. Omar Rav Nachman. Machlekes, the debate between Rabbi Eliezer and the Chachamim is, B'shetoikev as chavero. You grab your friend, v'yitzei misu kasai, and you throw him out of his sukkah. Imagine the first night, you're about to start Kiddush, he's sitting there with, everything ready. Someone comes over, knocks on your door, says, what are you doing here? Takes you all, pulls out a gun, throws you all over your sukkah, says, it's my sukkah now. And he starts making Kiddush. Okay, shtickle, interesting guy, Goslin with a gun on Yontif. But okay, listen. Unfortunately, if we think about it, we could just change the words, and unfortunately, let's not go there in public. Now, that's the machlek. So again, this is a very easy Gemara if we have the setup straight. This is a brisa. Oh, very good, very good, very good. This is a brisa. The brisa says two cases. You steal a sukkah, you put your schach up in your rabim, machlek is kosher pasul. Comes along, who's talking here? Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman is explaining where the machlekes is. Good. Now we're going to have to get back to you just in a moment. But Rav Nachman says the machlekes is when you grab your friend and you throw him out of the sukkah. Now the Gemara explains. Why does Rav Eliezer say pasul? Why do the Chacham say kash? Rav Eliezer l'taimei de'amar ein adam yoytze yidei chayvasai b'sukasai shel chaveiroi. Whose sukkah is it? I again, come point, throw you out of your sukkah, and I start making Kiddush. Whose sukkah is it? It's yours. You can't steal it. Karka and zealous. So Rav Eliezer l'taimei ein adam yoytze chayvasai b'sukasai chaveiroi. Now the Gemara explains. If you're going to say that land could be stolen, we've been saying until now it can't. And even if you can tell me it could be stolen, sukkah gezuli, it's a stolen sukkah. And therefore what? You can't be yaitze. V'inami, and if you're going to tell me karka inay nigzeles, then what is it? Sukkah shu'ulahi. It's a borrowed sukkah, which for right now, keeping things very simple, the Gemara is saying, can't be yaitze with a borrowed sukkah. Now, parenthetically, why not? So Rashi over here says, Rashi just references, actually Rashi doesn't say anything. End of story. Rashi doesn't mention. Gemara just seems to say it's a borrowed sukkah and he can't be yaitze. Why not? The only reason we know of is, lochem, you're saying. Very good. Locher is only the first day, which we can learn our sukkah from Lulav. Maybe it is talking about the first day. Very good. Let's leave it at that. Perfect. That is Rav Eliezer, why he holds it is pasul. So again, there's two reasons why it's pasul. If you say land is not stolen, then it's not yours. If land is stolen, then what is it? A borrowed sukkah. And you can't be yaitz with a borrowed sukkah. The Rabbanan, the time I own Rabbanan according to their reasoning. The Rabbanan that say kosher, why Damri? You could be yaitz with your sukkah of your friend. V'karka ain't an nigzeles. They hold land can't be stolen, and therefore what? Sukkah she'ulihi, and everything's good. You could be yaitz with the sukkah of your friend. Avol. So that's the case, says Rav Nachman, that Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim argue is a case that you throw your friend out of the sukkah. Avol, however, go, yeah?
Really, what that really comes down to is whether or not you can use the sukkah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Very good. Said it perfectly, eloquently, succinctly. It's a very simple machlekes. Can he be yotze b'sukkah shula? The manifestation of it is a quote unquote sukkah gezula. But you're pointing out is how really sukkah gezula. They're both being maskim. You can't use sukkah gezula. They're quabbling if you could be yotze with a sukkah shula. Very good.
It depends. It also seems like they're arguing maybe not the first day.
Oh,
everyone agrees that.
That's also true. Avi's responding to you 1 second. Sukkah She'ula, doesn't everyone agree to Lachem in the first day? So it's a good question. So there's different avenues. This is going to be a hak we're going to have to get to. Maybe they hold Lachem is only by Lulav and not by Sukkah. The Pasiks by Lulav, we're just assuming it equates. This is something that we're going to have to get to. Avol, but now continues the Gemara. That's where it's a machlokes Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim. Again, we're in the middle of a larger sentence. The Gemara quoted a brayso sukkah gezula, or you put schachas as a rabbit. A machlokes Rav Eliezer and the Chachamim. Rav Nachman said, where is the machlokes? Like we just explained, sukkah she'ula, etc. Aval, however, gazal eitzim. If you steal wood, v'sikich b'hem, and you put schach on top, and you use them as schach. Divrei hakol. Everyone agrees. Ein loy ella demei eitzim. All you have to pay back is the value of the wood. Now, what does that mean? Oh, 1 second. One thing at a time. Good question. Let's just go one step at a time. There's a very special din that, let's say, we're building the shul, Lamaisa, shekel loan funds. So you know what? Listen, Robin Hood Matziv, we need windows. You know what? KBT's building. Don't tell anyone. We go there, we grab their windows, we put it in our shul. Givaldik. No, we have windows. Whatever. No. Let's not tell anyone. And then what happens is, eventually it comes in the Elah, and I'm get up there and guys, come on, it's ridiculous. Okay, we're doing tshuva, returning it. Do we have to take the windows out of the building and return them? How do you do tshuva? And this is a Gemara in Baba Kama. The Gemara there says, Gazal a beam, and you built the beam into a mansion. And now you want to do tshuva. What do you got to break down your whole house? States Gemara in Baba Kama, Tarkonas Hashavim. Chazal created a special din d'Rabbanan because they want people to do tshuva. And if they know you got to break down the house, you got to take out the windows, no one's going to want to do that. So they made a special din d'Rabbanan. You pay the value. Special din d'Rabbanan, awkward, that you pay the value. Number one. Now, before we get to your question about being gates to the sukkah, says the Gemara, the same thing over here. If you steal wood and you build it as chach, all you have to pay back is the value of the wood and not the schach itself. Pause for a second. The case I just told you is not fully comparable. I told you build it into your mansion. I told you I built it into a shul. Schach on sukkahs. Says the Gemara. Says Rashi, I think, quotes it. Give me 1 second. It's a very long Rashi. I'm trying to find the right part. No, it's on Rashi. Someone says it. Okay, I'm just going to speak it outside, and we'll find it outside. That on Sukkot, your Sukkah is as if you're a mansion. Because if you would have to break down your Sukkah, you wouldn't have a Sukkah. And therefore, we don't make you break it down. So that is the din why you have to pay back to Me'etzim. Now, whether you get you now, let's hold on for one more moment. Let's continue. Says the Gemara, Mimai. From where do we know this? Says the Gemara, Midigitani. As Yuram Nayach said, or I don't remember who it was. There were 2 cases in the Braisa. Sukkah Gezula. And what was the other case? Misachich b'shasarabim. Mimai midiktani, from that which it said. Dumya dirishos harabim, that it's similar to putting schach up in rishos harabim. Ma rishos harabim karka lav dideyu. Just like in rishos harabim, the land is not yours. Sukanami lav karka dideyu. So too, by the sukkah, the land is not yours. And that's how we know that the case is that you grabbed your friend and he threw him out of your sukkah. So there's one question we didn't answer yet, which is your question, which is in this last case, are you yotzei the mitzvah? We're saying you only have to pay back demei eitzim. Okay, very good. But lemaisa, do you have to pay back? Are you yotzei the mitzvah? So let's look at a Rashi. Let's look at a Rashi. Really running out of time. Let's look at one or two long Rashi. Let's see it together for a moment. Says Rashi, what's the problem? You steal wood, you build a sukkah. It's not stolen, it's not borrowed. Why? We know why. Because you check all the boxes. You're Russia, but you check all the boxes. You stole an item, and what did you do with it? You built it into your sukkah. So you did a shinoi ma'isa. Says Rashi, tekaninu, you were koinit b'shinoi ma'isa. V'shini Hashem. Before, what was it? It was bamboo slats. Now it's chach. Void. And furthermore, we shall not tekanas hashavim, as we spoke out. That's the name of the takana. Well, you don't have to break it down. Ein sarach listar binyana. You don't have to break down your building. Ella yachser damim darmin barak yashan. And we'll leave it at that. So what's Rashi teaching us? How do you read the Gemara? You get to the mitzvah. You'll have to pay back the value. You don't even have to pay back the wood itself. But you get to the mitzvah. So let's speak out. This was a lot of... I'm sorry?
You didn't pay back.
Doesn't make a difference. That's how you're yoitze. Anytime I steal, if I go, I punch Shinoch in the face, grab his glasses, gavaldik, and then Avi says, you know what, I need glasses. I sell it to him. So Avi, he has glasses. He has a Kinyan, everything's good. Happens to be, technically, we have to do tshuva and we got to figure out and get back his money. But it's two different things. Anytime we have a yush and a shinoi, the item has bailus. Now, you're all wondering what happened to mitzvah baba avira, which is a very good question, which in all these things, it's a shtickle cliffhanger that happens over here. The sugyas begin, lulav gazel, begins, the issue is mitzvah baba avira, and then we keep on continuing, almost forgetting about that point. It's a very large point. It could be part of the reason why we have a sea of Taisasin over here. It's one of the reasons, etc. Let's just speak out outside. This was a lot of lines. The reading wasn't so difficult. Let's just speak out what just happened. And I know we're running out of time. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be more on time and we'll be able to read it again inside. Hopefully the Chaver will be able to chazer tomorrow also. The Gemara had a brisa, a stolen sukkah, putting schach on Rosh Hashanah. Rav Eliezer said paisav, Chachamim said kosher. What's the case that they're arguing? Not maybe in how we would have thought. The case is, says Rav Nachman, you grab your friend, you throw him out of the sukkah. Rav Eliezer says, Pasal Chamsevit Kasher, as was pointed out, really at the crux of the machlekes is what? What do we hold of a sukkah she'ula? Because that really what it boils down to over here, based on the machlekes whether the karka is stolen or not. However, if I steal wood and I build it as my schach, everyone agrees you're to your mitzvah. And everyone agrees you don't even have to take back the schach to pay it back. What do? You just pay him cash. Pick it up tomorrow from a hisafta with a shtickle chazara.